Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett.
Dog. Good
And
night.
we already know where this is gonna.
I will tell you like this: despite Michael Chandler trying to run up on me in that restaurant and act dumb, I will always be a fair analyst. So when I say I'm picking Patty, it's as an analyst. The thing is, I was watching the countdown. You know what I mean? Michael Chandler might as well come holla at FA Fight Systems. I get his hands right. I don't know. I was watching this stuff today, and I'm saying this overall, especially with MMA coaches. A lot of MMA coaches, I just feel like some of them aren't credentialed. Some of them, and don't get me wrong, Henry Hooper is credentialed at Dutch kickboxing, but
right.
some of them aren't credentialed. Some of them just came out of nowhere. A lot of them have never fought. But the main thing I feel, just like I talked about with Volkanovski, is too many of them stay silent and they don't say, "Hey, we need to get this work done. We need to get work." Because when I was watching Michael Chandler do the pad work with Henry Hoof, I was like, if I had him, he would not be doing the pad work that way. Because when you look at Michael Chandler, it's two things that get him in trouble: not fucking wrestling when he's a wrestler, and he lacks fundamentals of boxing. And he doesn't kick much, so let's just label him a boxer wrestler, and he barely wrestles. So let's just label him a MMA boxer, right?
Right.
First of all, if I was his coach, just like I did with Chris CB Burden, you're wrestling. I better see this many shots per round in sparring all the time, or there's a consequence. And then you fix the fundamentals. If you got Michael Chandler and you got him solid boxing fundamentals, like a good jab, his jab is short, a right hand that's not just an overhand, a real right body shot where he's not leaning his head over his knee, and you just mix, dude, you could just mix the jab, the 1-2, and wrestling, and Mike Chandler would probably have beat all the people he lost to.
Yep.
You know what, Michael Chandler? Holla at me, dog. Holla at me. People don't know I got the most comprehensive knowledge of the game.
That is.
Holla at me, dog. You know, and he just losing. And when it comes to Paddy Pimblett, here's what the thing. I will say it straight up. I have never been against that guy. I've never thought he sucked because I watched people before they in the UFC. Everybody from Habib to GSP to Anderson. There's nobody that was ever in the UFC. I wasn't watching from like their second or third fight. When I watched him in Cage Warriors and stuff, the kid already had talent.
He was good.
And yeah, he was already good.
He was
And
good.
he's only getting better. You know, and the kid has cardio. He has innovative and unpredictable striking. He's bigger now, musculature. His jujitsu's always been top notch.
Insanely good jujitsu.
Yeah, and he has a chin. So if you look at, I put it like this: Bobby Green's the better striker out of him, and technically out of Michael Chandler and Bobby Green. And look what he did to Bobby. He outstruck Bobby and then subbed him like he subbed him 3 times with one submission. He went
Yep.
to triangle, armbar to triangle.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If Michael Chandler started using his wrestling in this bout, I think that's going to be his downfall. And then I think his striking, Patty uses more weapons, and he's smart. He knows how to play long, like he did with Bobby. I think it's gonna be him long, long, long. Mike missing a lot because he throws everything loopy. And then eventually he's gonna be like, okay, let me try to switch the game up. Because I saw an interview when he's like, "There's gonna be the thinking Michael Chandler." He's gonna try to switch the game up, wrestle, and and it's gonna be over. That's how I see it going.
Yeah. Not to mention, like in the past couple fights, like you see that he'll gas out, and that is
He's
not
always gassed out. He's
exactly.
always gassed
That's
out.
not something you want to do against Paddy Pimblett because once he sees that you are wilting down, maybe even by like the second round, when he sees that you're like huffing and puffing, gassing out, that's when Paddy's gonna be real fucking dangerous.
Yeah, as long as Patty don't do that thing when he runs in and just punches with his chin in there and get
Yeah.
caught, I think he's safe. But which I always thought like at first, oh, this is just what he does. But then when I watch him fight Bobby, I'm like, he knows who he can run in reckless with and who he can't. Kid's smart. I saw DJ say he could see him as a champ one day. I actually can too.
Yeah.
I actually can too.
In like a couple years, 100%. Well, not even like a couple years. I think give him like maybe next year he'll be
Dude,
top
look at
five.
dude. if you think about it, if you really be real about it, Poirier is about to retire. Islam is thinking about moving up or only doing a few more at lightweight and then being like, I'm cool. It
Well,
ain't too much. It ain't too much competition for him there. I would say like when those kind of guys leave, Gaethje is close to retiring, and I think he would do well versus. I think he could do well versus Gaethje and Poirier actually. But like probably the hardest person for him, I think, would be Armin. But I could actually see him submitting Armin. So I don't know.
God,
The kid's good.
sky's the limit for fighting another Chad Mendez clone. So
Yeah. So what we got next?
that is